you? It's Oreo, and we're here to collect. Yes, it's Sunday night. You might be in for a fright. We have a three-parter and a one-parter with Sylvester McCoy in The Death Collectors. We have an abandoned, well, no, not so much an abandoned. We have a space station. We have Professor Morse. We have his scientific experiments. We have his ex-wife. And we have a lot of things coming towards that ship that you wish would stay the hell away. We're about to get to that, but before we get to that, it's tonight's cast. Joining us this evening with a finger sandwich in hand, or in mouth, as the case may be, it's Sue from Tarbis Blue. How are we doing, Sue?
Groovy, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you, dearie. And my season Mr. Will Medina. Will, how the Giants doing?
Hey now, they won the game. How you doing, buddy?
There you go, man. Cheers. Early doors and a Monday morning. It's the Thunder from down under. And he hates colorization. It's AJ. How we doing, Matt?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good to have you, man. And into week one on his brand swanky new laptop from hell, it's Texas Tim Wells. How we doing, Timble?
Hello there.
Good to have you, man. And even more pissed off that Honey G has made it through on the X Factor, it's Philip Archer. How we doing, Phil?
You say honey, I say G. Hello.
Yeah, right. Jesus. So yeah, guys, the Death Collectors. We have one of the few instances here where Sly McCoy's doctor is travelling alone. So we are getting off to the movie territory when it comes to 96 in terms of where this is in his timeline. So where do we begin with this one? Okay, opening thoughts. Philip, can I get your opening thoughts on the Death Collectors, please? Sylvester McCoy.
Okay,
Flying solo. Yes.
Flying solo. I like it when he goes solo because it gives him a bit more leg room to do what he wants without having to look out for his usual companions. So it's nice when it's like that. And yes, and this one does sort of like touch upon his eventual death. Playing Madden Butterfly. Is it Madden Butterfly? I don't know.
Madden Butterfly. Yeah, they've done. This isn't the only audio that's done that. Master Tragedy done that as well. But continue.
Okay, I didn't know that, but fair enough. So that's a nice little hint. I kind of find the story a little confusing in a way of how they're trying to put it across. The decay creature is the noisiest buggery thing I've ever heard in my life, and whenever it's screeching away, I just want to turn the sound down and just let it go.
Okay.
Danica, she was all right. I feel sorry for her at the end, though. I mean, she chose to stay on board, and yet she's in big trouble at the end, to be honest with you.
It was the sound of silence at the end. Yes.
Yeah. And I did like the other character. Ridley was very much a good kind of monster type half creature. I enjoyed his part in it. The doctor bloke I didn't really care for, to be honest.
But Morse?
Yeah, Morse. I didn't really care for him. But the what's the computer called?
Nancy, played by Carina Olsen. Yes.
Yeah, she was very enjoyable. I liked the way she was half kind of like friendly and half kind of like creepy. Very good. But overall, it's an okay story, but a little bit over my head sometimes, if I'm honest.
Okay. Tim, opening thoughts for, well, this three-parter anyway to begin with.
Yeah, I agree with Philip. It was a bit noisy. But the story was good. It was an interesting story. It had some new ideas. And the villains of the piece weren't even the scary guys. It was the doctor that Philip was just talking about that was causing all the trouble.
Yep.
I didn't realize that was Catherine Parkinson from the IT crowd until I read the credits there. But I thought it sounded like her. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Danica?
Yeah, she was good. What's cool about these Seventh Doctor Alone stories, too, because they kind of did the same thing they did with Valhalla. You get to the end of the story, and he asked, whoever the temporary companion is, like in that case, it was Michelle Gomez, and I'm not going with you.
Yeah.
Here, the girl does the same thing, and it's like, you kind of feel sorry for him because he's got to be so lonely at this point. He doesn't have any friends to hang out with anymore. It's also cool about the music, them using that Madame Butterfly over and over again, because, I mean, that does kind of prefigure what happens to him in the hospital later. Overall, it was a fun story. It was, like Philip said, it was a bit noisy, and it was sometimes you'd kind of lose track of what was going on, but I don't think it's really a fault of it. By the end, it was pretty clear what it all meant, so I enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, your shot, mate.
It's not a bad story, but like Philip said, like I had to listen to it without the headset because when the creature was trying to communicate with Nancy, it made such a loud sound. It was hurting my ears. I had to take the
Crackling noise, yeah.
Yeah, and that crackling was bugging me, so I had to take the headset off. But it took me a while to realize that the computer, Katarina Osa, was the headhunter in the Eighth Doctor arrested when she was chasing Lucy Miller.
Yep.
It was funny to hear her voice sounded a little different than it does as a headhunter. Probably because different a couple of years apart, the stories took place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I like this. The Seventh Doctor being by himself makes this a great story because, like Philip said, he had no companion to worry about like that, and you see the way he you don't say he looks down on them, but on humans, but he always got to get involved in messes that they themselves created. Just like when he figured out that that the guy who Smith, I think that he died was because the doctor sent him down there on purpose because he knew that he was contaminated, that he was infected with the virus that nobody was supposed to go down there. You know,
Ridley.
Yeah. And then so the right there, I like to have the doctor put him down like that because he didn't make him look like he was better than him, but he said, look, this whole thing was your fault, and in a way he was right, and the guy still didn't care, even when his ex-wife almost died.
Yeah,
he's still a little conservative, but he really didn't care. He probably just wanted another body to check how the infection is affecting her and all that. So I like that. I wish in time when the Seventh Doctor does more story in the Big Finish that he does some more solo stories just to see how everybody could tell the difference between the way this was getting near the movie storyline and when he was with Ace and other people like that, Benny and all that. I wish we could do that.
Yeah, at present you've only got a handful of them now. I think there's like 5 if I remember right. But for that, somebody correct me in the one comment section. But no, you're right. Okay. AJ, do you possess the correct codes? Go for it.
Yeah, I like this story. It wasn't that bad. It was little bits and pieces of different genres all over the place. I agree it was very noisy, especially at the very beginning where the guy is talking through the breathing apparatus, and it sounded just god awful. It sounded like he had a plastic cup over his mouth while he was talking. I like the imagery they used for the traders, you know, how they said they're basically dead flesh in a metal bed frame that floats, which is an enemy towards the end of one of the Silent Hill games, which was just creepy as hell. But McCoy sort of, you know, just running around trying his best to avoid the decay, which I thought was like, which is like entropy. I was thinking like, you know, entropy made manifest. And trying to save everyone. It was just, you know, basically his own fight. You know, he has no one else to worry about except for himself and whoever else might survive towards the end. Yeah. Which I like those kinds of stories. I mean, you know, he'll do it and damn the consequences otherwise. If I felt like this would be a really good story for TV if they can get the right actors for it too. Physical imagery of the actors to say, you know, voice and visuals are different totally. So overall, I thought it was an awesome story, just kind of noisy, and it did drag a little bit here and there with the between the sections.
Okay, cool, man. All right, Sue, how about you?
Are we talking about both stories in this?
No, the first 3 parts first. I'll touch on the one part at the end.
Okay. The first 3 parts were cool. I liked the outer spaciness. I liked the devilishness of the characters. Wow, and the creepiness of the Flash and the decay and the death and the collection of this and like whatever that was, and like there was so many different aspects, and I love the way the Seventh Doctor, he rocked it. He really did. It is, his stuff is always awesome. He's just like the most amazing Doctor. I just can't get over how cool the Seventh Doctor really is. And let me see. Nancy was really, really awesome, and I really liked the I really like the Doctor, how dark and evil he really was. He was no friend to anybody. So he was a perfect baddie. So anyway, that's what I got.
By the Doctor, I assume you mean Moss.
Yeah,
Oh.
that one. Yes,
Yeah.
that one.
I was about to say that. What the hell does Fry McCoy do? Is it?
No. Nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah, good one. And for me, yeah, the sound isn't the best on this, but at the same time, it's not a bad three-parter. The guys are right, though, for a three-parter, it does drag in places, which is surprising. Which I don't really want to go to the inclination of, especially when the Decay was talking through the intercoms, I got the similar sound scope that they use for Nightshade.
Yep. That's
Anybody else?
Yeah, it sounded a little bit like that.
I don't know. I can't really. Nightshade.
Yeah, Nightshade. Remember we done about five.
Oh, okay. You mean the recent one that we had? Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go back and listen to that.
Yeah. So, no, I just thought that the sound effects used sounded kind of similar. McCoy's always top notch. There's no problem. Even the guest cast to a degree are fine. Like Tim alluded to, the chick for the IT crowd, as Danica was good. Who was the fellow that played Moss? Well,
it was. Oh, I can't see.
Is your name Well? Oh, that's all right. You can tell me.
Alistair Cording.
He got it. Alistair Cording.
Yeah, okay. Good job. And he got a dramatic death at the end as well. So, you can't grumble. The whole concept of McCoy basically saying, he's reiterating, you can have my seventh death when I go. Take me, don't take him. And they didn't listen to him, and the poor guy went right at the end. The Puccini thing playing over and over again. Again, you're getting the subtle hints that we're heading to San Francisco, folks. It's getting there. Almost time for Grace to stick that needle in his chest, and it's bye-bye, little man. But
I like how he called it lift music.
yeah, lift music. So yeah, all in all, not a bad three-parter, guys, but by far not the best at Big Finish I've ever done. Right, guys, any events, characters or instances within this story that stood out for you?
Well, the Dark Traders appeared in the Fifth Doctor story. That's how the Seventh Doctor knew about them.
Yeah.
He got so. What's the name of it?
It's called The Darkening Eye.
Darkening Eye. Yeah.
And it centers more or less around Nyssa.
That's a companion chronicle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And it does portray the Dark Traders a lot more in this one than it does really in the one that we're just talking about. It's a lot more better, I think. I feel.
Because the Dark Trader, they just trade like that, and the main, you say the main villain was the Professor.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to sacrifice everybody just to get his own way.
Yep.
Yeah, these guys were actually helpful in this story to the Doctor and company. I mean, they weren't really the villains at all.
Yep.
Well, they were a little thief. They tried to steal the TARDIS.
Okay.
That was funny.
Are you all?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, girly, dogly. AJ, how about you, mate? And stand up.
Yeah, Nancy, being the AI and all that, it's funny how every AI you ever see in a movie or whatever, they always either turn crazy or evil. Doesn't matter what the situation is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Space Odyssey. I had flashbacks of Hal,
Yeah.
I also like the glitchy effect, when she's talking, it's like stuttering and staticky and whatnot. Pretty cool too.
Okay.
What else is there? Bollocks, no.
Don't remember that.
Sorry. The one thing I didn't like was when they said that the Doctor's died 6 times. I think more he was on the verge of dying 6 times because he didn't die completely, did he? Before he regenerated.
It depends on what you interpret regeneration as, but
Yeah. But that was a nitpick of mine. That's all. Sorry.
All right, no bother. Timbo, how are you, mate?
Well, I think I pretty much said everything I liked about it. But you guys were talking though about the sound and how it reminds you of other stories. You're going to get that quite a bit, I think, because they often use the same sound effects and the as we said, the same actors to play different parts and stuff. So sometimes it's very obvious.
True.
Other times it's not. I mean, but look at all the voices Nick Briggs does. So I mean, you get to the point where like, is that Nick Briggs or is that somebody else? So.
All right, man. Champion. Sue, anything?
Nancy, I'm just going to reiterate how cool that the computer was. She was awesome. And then I also I also liked the professor doctor guy. He was evil. Moss. He was really evil. It was great.
I wouldn't say he was evil. He was just hell-bent on performing his experiments. But all right, fair enough. Phil, go for it.
You know what? I really, as much as we don't know much about them, I really did enjoy the Dark Traders. They're a new kind of monster. They come across like nothing else I've ever heard before, and I wouldn't mind having another story about them. Although we got that one as an extra piece, I wouldn't mind going into their own, their history and finding out how they came to be that way.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yeah, there you go, Nick Briggs. There's a wee something for your diary. Put it in your calendar. Philip wants it, and if you want money, yeah, you must obey. So there you go. And for me,
he did direct this episode, so
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so he might have listened to you, Phil, but I doubt it. So yeah, and myself, it's hard to gauge here, man. It's Katarina Olsen, cooperative 1 minute, and totally batshit crazy bonkers off the wall the next minute. And it's sort of David SDK heading towards the irrelevance. Was it a ship or a space station they were on? That'll be it.
yeah, they were on a space station because remember they were near the planet that they're not supposed to be on.
Yeah.
It was quarantined because of the
Oh,
gases.
that's right. 'Cause it would be-
Was it a survey vessel then? Some sort of survey vessel?
They said the government sent them there, but there wasn't specific.
That's right, that's how they were going. They're always going to be quarantining and in the airlock and things like that. So, all right, fair enough. So, yeah, oh no, not a bad story, folks. Right, guys, before we get to open mic portion of the podcast, we had a wee bonus tale in this one. A wee timey-wimey jumping around story of one doctor, two princesses, a shitload of things that were supposedly spiders, and one gigantic fucking time loop. Shadow spiders. Opening thoughts, guys?
It was Spider's shadow.
Whatever. Reverse, scratch. Yeah, shadow spiders then. Okay. Well, opening thoughts, quickly.
Well, for Spider's shadow, we get to hear Katarina also again playing one of the princesses.
Allison, or was it the other one? I can't remember.
Allison.
Allison and Louisa. Okay, right.
Louisa was by Carol Fitzpatrick.
Right.
It was a good story, because, even though not even maybe 5 minutes into it, you knew it was going to start getting timey-wimey when certain words were getting repeated over again, especially about the rose or the blood flower.
The blood flower, yeah.
Or the way you would address me as princess, and kept repeating over and over again. I said, "Oh, this is gonna be a timey-wimey little thing." It was pretty good, and it was weird that the doctor used what was remained of you could say that from the last story, the decay.
Yeah.
He used that to solve this situation. So in a way, it follows right after the first story.
Yeah, it's similar to the free part that we had with Thomas Brewster and Pete Davison, but. Yeah, you're right. Your Phil was right after it. Okay. Phil, since Will answered for you already, it's your turn. What do you reckon?
Oh, sorry. I didn't really pay much attention to this one because after the Death Collectors, I just thought my brain needed to calm down. And as you said, it's timey-wimey. Whenever it's that timey-wimey, I lose interest. So I wasn't really that into this particular addendum story, to be honest.
Okay, well.
Let's give that hamster something to eat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Sue, go for it. Yes.
Okay, this one I really, really enjoyed. I love time loops. I love the whole. I'm sorry, Phil. I totally am completely 100% the opposite.
I hope you took plenty of notes. Okay, go.
I think that the first loop where they were where he was introduced to the princesses and realized that he had met them before was awesome. And then I thought that the blood the touching of the blood rose was really interesting. It took me a while to figure out why they were time traveling, except for they were touching the rose. And then the other time loop that I really liked was the one the one where the doctor must dance, and so that was cool. But that was not from a touch of the blood rose. That was just from the decay or whatever. Wonderful little audio. Super cool.
It was all the one time loop. There wasn't all different ones. It was just scattered on different places. So, but I get your point.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right, AJ, go for it, man.
Yeah, I didn't mind this story. I like the disjointedness of the time loop where it goes, from the beginning to the end to the middle and back and back and back and back. I reckon it would have worked really well as a story on TV, and I could actually see Capaldi playing this just the way McCoy was playing it. I go, yeah, Capaldi, he could easily do that. The only thing that fell down was the end of the story where you break the time loop by the two sisters being nice to each other. That's all that you needed to break the time loop, was them being nice. I thought that you could have come up with something that would be a little bit more timey-wimey or something more scientific than, oh, you look beautiful.
Yeah, well, don't be a bitch to your sister is the key lesson here, folks.
Frozen, anyone?
Oh, please, no. Let it go. Right, Tim.
No, I agree with everybody. I think this was an amazingly fun story. For the first time, and possibly the last, the guy that's usually 2 steps ahead of everybody is actually 2 steps behind and has to figure out exactly what's going on. For the 7th Doctor, that's something new. And it's like really cool watching him figure it all out or listening to him figure it all out. It's a cool little story. I think it's great that it's a short story that's 30 minutes because it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just a quick story. It's really a lot of fun. It's like Will said, timey-wimey, and like AJ said, this would make a good TV episode. I think it could be done cheaply as well. So enjoy it.
Cool, man. Yeah, and I'll concur with Tim too, for the most part. Half an hour. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It might be confusing, especially if you're doing other things, Philip. It's good to see that Sly McCoy is actually behind on what's going down rather than being 2 steps ahead of everybody. Something new, something unique, something different. The resolution, okay, AJ might have a point, somebody just telling their sister that they're beautiful. You're like, really? That's it? What a shitty fucking
they had to break it somehow. I think that's what it was. Just do something different and you break the loop. Right? So.
Well, I suppose, yeah. I suppose if you're looking to break a loop like that, you've got to do something different for the chain of events that preceded it. So obviously that was the route they went. So, which is fair enough. For half an hour, you can't complain. But if that had been a 2-hour story and that was the resolution, you might have had a lot of pissed off people, is all I'm saying. But for half an hour, we'll go with it and we'll abide by it. Not a problem. Right, guys. Open mic portion of the cast. Quick. Anything else you wish to bring up regarding these 2 tales?
Well, the story we're just talking about is kind of reminiscent of that 4th Doctor story, Meglos, when they're in that chronic hysteresis and they have to do something slightly different to get out of the loop they've been placed in. So that's always pretty cool.
That's true. Good comparison. Anything else, guys?
Well, the only thing I could put in is that like how much we all appreciate is a 30-minute story. So in a way, there should be some more 7th Doctor 30-minute stories. It doesn't have to be 2 hours. You could do some short stories like that.
You get them in the odd anthology set you get from time to time. I think the recent one was You Are the Doctor and Other Stories.
Yeah.
A few months back. So,
you also had the recent 5th Doctor with Turlough, and that was really good.
So you get them once in a blue moon. Which once a year for one Doctor. So, And those guys?
In the final story, the final part, I like the foreshadowing also of the New Year's Eve party for the 7th Doctor because you regenerate.
Yeah. The movie? Oh, yeah. File that in now. I know it.
I like that. And there was one other thing. Where is it? You'd think the TARDIS would have defenses against other temporal attacks from the outside of it, like from the time loop, instead of the Doctor being break out of the TARDIS in the time loop in some sort of defense.
Wasn't it still recovering from the previous story, though? It was gunked up with all that
decay.
So that's why it was weakened or whatever.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, that decay was lingering. All righty, guys. Better than decay on your gums. Right, folks. It's that time again.
For a host of changes underwear.
Really?
How do you know?
So childish.
That is pitchy.
It isn't. It's your annual time now.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll save that for another day. Right, guys. The Death Collectors. And, crap, what was it?
Spider Shadow.
Spider Shadow. I'm dyslexic today. Philip,
Yes, sir.
kindly give us a rating for the Death Collectors and then Spider Shadow, please.
Well, for the Death Collector, because I like the idea of it, the Dark Traders, and the idea of the decay and the whole shebang of it, I'm going to give it a decent 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
For the Shadow Spiders, I couldn't give them monkeys, to be honest. It's too ton of women for me, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
A story with spiders and he's talking about monkeys. Go figure. That's it. Well, your turn, man.
I'm gonna give them both 8 out of 10. I liked it. I liked them both. They were not a bad story. Like I said, I wish they would do more short stories with the Seventh Doctor and solo story with the Seventh Doctor before he ends up going to, San Francisco and get shot up. So I look forward for more of those.
The Asian child. Yes. Okay. AJ, you're up. What do you reckon, man? Numbers?
Together, I'm going to give them about an 8.5 out of 10. Both stories are good, except for the first one where it dragged in little bits here and there, but the final part was just magic.
So you're giving them both an 8?
8.5, yeah.
8.5, 8.5, champion. All right, Timbo, what's the view for hell? What do you reckon?
The first story I'll give an 8.5. It was good. I enjoyed it. The second one I'll give a 9.5. I enjoyed that one even more.
Oakley dokley, champion, high praise down in the hot house. And Sue, wakey, what do you reckon?
I'm awake. I will give the first one an 8 out of 10. It was interesting, and I'll give the second one a 9 out of 10 because I love that stuff. It was great.
Oakley dokley.
And the cold never bothered me anyway.
Oh God! All time looks come at a price, dearie. All right, and for me, I'll give the Death Collectors an 8.5, and you know what? I'll split the difference. I'll also give the second one an 8.5 as well. Not bad outing for Sly McCoy, and give us a few more with him flying solo. Why the hell not? Good job, big finish. Right, guys, done, dusted, in the can. Sorry if it's a bit muddled this week, but we had 2 stories to cram on in there. Next week, we are going to go back in time by 3 years and 1 month. And we're going to sit back and we inhale the light at the end. We have good old John Dorney getting pestered at his front door by 8 different people proclaiming to be the same person. A whole lot of batshit craziness ensues. There you go. Got it. In between. So we'll give that 50th anniversary Big Finish production a bash for your viewing and listening pleasure, and we look forward to that. There you go, Philip. You didn't need to date this week, but you probably would have forgot anyway.
You would not told me, yeah.
As always, guys, please check out our various buddies on the wacky, wonderful world of YouTube. You have Sue there with TARDIS Boy Radio. You have Dr. Freedom and his news broadcasters and his Omega File. You have the guys and dolls over at Geeks Assembled. You have Johnny Boyd, Sammy Carter, Lady Neo, Mike Shannon, as and when he can get aboard the old internet. Go check him out, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, as is the case with this video. And with that, guys, we're out of here. It's Sunday night and I'm off for a beer. We wish you all a safe and prosperous week, and be excellent to yourself and each other.
Enjoy Turkey Day.
And again, for you folks in the States, enjoy Thanksgiving on Thursday. Gobble, gobble, and smallpox to the Indians.
Thank you for watching Drunky G's, audio who.
Yes, exactly. To all our 5 fans, thank you very much, and see you next week. Good night, folks.